Hello, I'm Ross Kemp.
And I'm Barbara Windsor.
And I'm leaving EastEnders to go to ITV.
If you do that, I'm going to release another record, Grant.
All right, Mum, I'll stay.
Oh.
Mum.
Put on your clothes, another day is dawning. Turn on your TV. Time to watch This Morning with Richard, not Judy. For better, not worse, it's live, not rehearsed. Made for no money, not for anybody. Welcome your hosts, they both rich and Stu. They have no idea, so let's see how they do on This Morning with Richard, not Judy.
Hello, I'm Stewart Lee.
And some people call me the Space Cowboy.
No, wait. Do some people call you the Space Cowboy?
Yes, they do.
No, listen to the question, the words in it. Do some people call you the Space Cowboy?
Oh, no, they don't.
No.
But I'd like it if they did.
What, they don't. What do some people call you?
Well, some people call me Richard Herring, but most people don't know who I am or think I'm the stupid priest off of Father Ted.
Good.
You always spoil everything I do.
And coming up later in the show.
At 12 o'clock, we'll be previewing one of Channel 5's flagship pieces of original new programming, Ground Force, in which Alan Titchmarsh is sent to Kosovo as NATO's official ground force on his own.
And at 12:10, we'll be showing you how to combine acupuncture and voodoo to cure the minor ailments of people you don't like without even having to meet them.
At 12:20, we'll be meeting H from Steps and asking him to calm down, for God's sake!
And at 12:29, we'll be looking at a chicken pie similar to the one eaten by Prince William in a London pub this week, and then asking royal correspondent James Whittaker to speculate on how quickly the pie would pass through the Prince's digestive tract and out into an Eton school toilet.
Well, it's Oscar week,
Oh,
Stu,
yeah.
and it's, you know, I know how Gwyneth Paltrow felt crying there, actually.
Yeah, of
crying.
course, because you're used to outstaying your welcome, aren't you, as well, Rich?
No, because I have won an award,
Oh,
Stu.
yeah, right,
yeah,
yeah.
I have actually won a Games Master Golden Joystick. And there it is, that's the real one.
Yeah.
That came out of Dominic Diamond's own hands, Stu, that came from.
Oh, look, it's lovely, isn't it?
It's
Oh, look,
lovely.
it's fallen on the floor.
Careful, Stu.
Oh, it's smashed, Rich!
Careful,
You
that's the
smashed to
actual
bits.
one,
It's
Stu.
actually smashed.
That's the actual one.
You see, oh, it's not...
Don't do that.
Must have
That
fallen
was
on
the
the
real one, you can't do that.
floor or something.
We could have given that to the poor
They don't want
children.
it. Anyway, will you please welcome Richard Thomas at the piano. Of course, you've won an award, haven't you?
No, I haven't.
Don't be modest. Richard actually came third in the All Wales Ted Danson lookalike competition. The other two Welsh Dansons were very good, though.
They
weren't
were very
to be
good.
fair?
We're, of course, coming to you from the Riverside Studios in Hammersmith, which is also where they filmed Chris Evans' The TFI Friday.
That's right, and there's quite a spooky phenomenon here, as you'll know if you've seen TFI, whereby any TV camera in this building is magnetically attracted towards women's breasts. Look at that there, how that works.
Whoa.
And down,
Oh.
and in again, there, you see.
Whoa,
And again.
he's tricky.
And scientists are already calling that the Chris Evans phenomenon.
We actually see Chris Evans around quite a lot in
bar
the
and
cafe
stuff,
and
yeah.
stuff. He's a monster, Stu.
Rich-
A monster.
Saying it in a staccato fashion doesn't make it any more true, Rich.
He's a monster, Tom.
Rich, saying it in a Brad Pitt Irish accent doesn't make it any more true.
He's a monster,
What's he
Stu.
been up to?
He had all these monkeys, right? And he was lopping off, yeah. He wasn't loving them like a normal man would do. He was lopping off their scalps with a machete.
This is live.
As if they were so many howling coconuts, Stu. Then he was eating their brains out their still living heads with a spoon.
No.
Yeah, and a dirty spoon to boot, Stu.
Adding insult to injury.
Yeah.
And what was old Will doing during this? Which Will?
Oh, he was standing just behind Chris Evans,
Yeah.
watching, going, Chris, and thinking of the money. If you were watching last week, you'll now have decided to copy TFI Friday exactly by spending the first 15 minutes of the show by talking about Hairy Bum Week. Oh, no, and also by calling this series TMWRN Judy.
Yeah, but that doesn't work. I explained last week, because TFI Friday, right, that's clever.
It's clever.
Because F is an offensive word.
That
means
is
it's
clever, Stu, but
Yeah.
it's the same as ours. TMWRN Judy actually stands for This Muff with Richard, not Judy. What do you think of that, Stu?
I think it's weak.
Do you think it's weaker or less weak than last
I
week,
think it's
Stu?
weaker.
The Lord our God is a jealous God, and that is why he had Jesus killed before he became too popular.
Chicken breast there got you on the Chris Evans camera. Always there, the Chris Evans phenomenon.
And
there we are.
I was wondering, Stu, what have you been up to this week, my friend?
Well, I'm back on TV, actually.
Are you? What show?
In this one.
They don't put this out on TV, do they?
Yeah. And so the thing is, I keep getting recognised in the street, but the problem with me is I always get recognised as other people. People think I'm the original Mark Fowler in EastEnders.
And also the current Mark Fowler in EastEnders, and also quite spookily, Tucker Jenkins from Grange Hill as well. Tucker Jenkins, Mark Fowler. Yeah. Tucker Jenkins, Mark Fowler. Now, Tucker Jenkins.
I've actually been mistaken for the bloke from the Fine Young Cannibals, who is of a different race to me. And last year, in the same week, I was mistaken for Edwin Collins, who was about 16 stone then, and also the bloke from Everything But the Girl, who's got a wasting disease. So it doesn't make sense.
You're lucky, Stu. I keep getting mistaken for the woman from Everything But the Girl.
That's because you go around with me a lot,
Well, no, I don't. It's not because I go quite a lot on my own as well, but then I do spend a lot of time hanging around near where she lives, dressed as her, trying to get into her house.
Oh, right, yeah. I saw that on the news. Was that you? I thought it was Alison Moyet, actually.
No, it was me.
Actually, last summer in Edinburgh, I was actually beaten up by drunk Scottish blokes for being Mark Lamar.
Well, it's good that someone was, wasn't it?
It's going to get you. You
Come on.
and Chris Moyles are going down,
Come
mate.
on.
And
Come
now,
go.
this.
And we're celebrating quite a landmark here today. Today is actually the 10th edition ever of This Morning of Richard Not Judy.
That is meaningless, because this week actually saw the recording of the 2,500th edition of Countdown. Right?
Damn Richard Whiteley, he always spoils everything I do. You know, I actually met Richard Whiteley at a charity gig a couple of weeks ago, and I want to tell you, he is just as funny in real life as he is on TV.
More or less
exactly the same funniness, Stu.
And actually, I was came out in the news last year that on Countdown, they actually feed a lot of the people's lines to them through earpieces during the show. And it's disappointing to think that some of Richard Whiteley's hilarious off-the-cuff remarks might not actually be genuinely spontaneous. But we don't do that, do we, Rich? We never do that. Rich, we don't feed things through?
No, we don't.
No.
That'd be awful.
And now, this week's aims of things we plan to achieve in the next 7 days. Aim 1 is to ensure that the IRA do not secure the propaganda coup of blowing up the Millennium Dome by sending in a crack squad of Girl Scouts to smash it to pieces with toffee hammers sometime in June.
Aim 2 is to stop the pretense that Britain is still a religious country by renaming Easter Sunday Egg Sunday.
Egg, you said
and
egg.
Then crucifying Mr Cadbury's parrots.
Aim 3 is to prevent the publication of the proposed Braille GQ-style lads magazine so that blind people will be spared experiencing millions of 20-something twig-leg B-list children's TV and Channel 5 Big Breakfast presenter wannabe slags stripping off to reveal their rancid, undernourished, semi-naked training bar Colonel Sanders' poultry abattoir breasts.
Do you have a problem about
I haven't got a problem, I said.
Aim 4 is to kidnap Gwyneth Paltrow and subject her to an ordeal that will really give her something to cry about. A continuous tape loop of her Oscar acceptance speech.
And Aim 5 is to create a new TV vehicle for Craig Charles, reflecting his two main interests, mechanical fighting machines and the stripper pubs of South London, to be called Robot Whores.
What about old Sharon Davis's bra, eh, Stu? I'd like to touch what's inside there.
What are you saying?
Hey, what about old Gary Lineker with his ears and his crisps and everything?
I'm sorry, I've got it. There's been a technical mix-up. Rich is actually being fed these spontaneous off-the-cuff remarks from They Think It's All Over for Rory McGrath there.
Bring on some women so I can molest them, come on!
Anyway, Time now for Angus Deaton's History of Alternative Comedy, where we pay tribute once more to one of those brave men and women of the late 70s comedy scene who were owed so little by so few.
Oh, here kommt die Spitfire! Oh!
They were amazing times for comedy then. Sieg Heil. I am... No, let me get it right. Ich bin gay.
Ich bin ein Homosexueller! I am gay! Ich bin gay! Ich bin gay! Ich bin gay! Sieg Heil!
I mean, what you've got to realise is that this was 1979, 1980. Weird times. I mean, there were a lot of people alive back then who died in the Second World War. And, well, Hitler was a big issue for these guys still a big deal for them.
Oh, hey, you want a chicken boy? You want to sit on my feet too, mister? Ich bin doggy!
I like to think that I did my bit to bring gay issues to the fore. But basically, what I did was to take all these things and just roll them up into a tight ball of confrontation, handed it to them and said, there you are. You don't like it, do you? And they didn't.
I don't know, no, Gabbers! I don't like his gut, but I like his balls!
What did he mean? Well, it didn't mean anything. Anyway, it was Dadaist. It was like Samuel Beckett. You know, Sieg Heil, ich bin gay. It was just mad. Mad times.
Oh, yeah! Sieg Heil, raus!
Today I introduce strippers on live TV. And I like to think that that's Dadaist as well. Now, again, it's rather like Samuel Beckett.
Anyway, it's Sunday, it's 12:03.
It's live, that's why we're so rubbish.
And it's time to choose the king of the show from the open sewer that is the British public.
So to help us serve the king as best we can, please welcome our twin slaves, Trevor and his sister Nathalie. Here they come.
Trevor and Nathalie.
In honour of the Oscars, they're dressed as generic awards, which in no way infringe the Oscar copyright. And Trevor is handing me an envelope, apparently the joint Oscar for the two men who most resemble Terry Christian from The Word. And a fat Michael J. Fox goes to... What? Lee and Harry, what? What's the meaning of this? How dare you?
Is this some kind of a joke, Trevor? No, don't answer that. We can't afford to pay you to speak. Now, Trevor, look, of course, our small-faced boy. You know, Trevor, your face is so small in relation to the size of your head that now it is painted gold. It resembles a tiny and rare Roman coin placed on top of a giant circular rug woven entirely from human hair.
Leave him, Stu. He's a child. He doesn't understand.
All right, fine.
As king of this golden Oscar-winning show, you will literally have a shower of golden things raining down on your astonished face. From this, our golden shower trolley. Golden trolley, dolly. It's the trolley full of golden things.
Ferrero Rocher there.
Oh, Ambassador, you're spoiling us.
Ferrero Rocher, of course, the kind of chocolates you would only imagine were luxurious if you had existed for your entire life on a diet consisting only of leaf litter and owl pellets.
And the welcome return of the goldest of all gold products, of course, Golden Graham's there. Yeah.
Golden Graham's, which sounds not so much like the name of a cereal as the name of a man that disgraced MP Ron Davis might once have met on Clapham Common.
Don't diss the Grahams, Stu. Haven't you seen the new advert?
Oh, yeah.
Golden Grahams deserve respect.
No. Golden Grahams deserve to be flushed uneaten down a toilet.
That's not such a good advertising slogan, Stu.
Actually, I've seen it in that new advert
Yeah.
where it's like a businessman
He's
eating Golden
sitting
Grahams.
tight.
Yeah, right. He's eating Golden Grahams and he has like a kind of acid trip.
It's ridiculous, isn't it, Stu? They couldn't put acid on a commercially available breakfast cereal.
No. And we'll be choosing the king of the show after this.
Wow, there are peas coming out of my face. Ah.
Rich, you're like the woman from Everything with the Girl on acid.
Mr. Grimsdale!
They say that Solomon was a wise man, and yet he had 700 wives. What a foolish man he must have been to make the same mistake over and over again. Hello, I'm Solomon. Will you marry me? Oh!
Last week we asked you to send in reasons why you should be king of the show, and these are 3 people whose desperate pleas most impressed us.
Hello, and what is your name?
Shirley.
Shirley Peacock. And you say you should be queen of the show because I went to school with Fred, the bloke who blows up the chimneys, Divna's daughter. And as if that wasn't enough, Shirley adds, and Sid Little live round the corner. Well, you decide.
Good reason.
And you are?
Adam.
Adam, the first man. Adam's reason is I grew up in Lincolnshire where they use saliva as currency. It's true?
That's
says
true.
It's true.
And what's your name, Tim Harrison?
I'm Tim Harrison.
Are you?
Well done.
And you should be king of the show because I can vibrate my eyeballs, he says. Let's see that in action, please. Oh, my God! Can you see that? Can we get a close-up on that? No. It was terrifying. It was really... Go on, do it again, quickly. You're evil. Now he's clearly the spawn of Satan. Now the studio audience will democratically choose their monarch with the aid of our ecologically sound beard-powered clapometer. Powered by Natalie's beard. So, if you liked person 1... who lived near Sid Little. Cheer and applaud now for person 1.
And the beard there, pushing it up into the 60s. The 50s even.
If you liked person 2, who has Lincolnshire saliva man, applaud now.
40 on the beard.
And if you liked my friend here, who is clearly Satan's child, give me a round of applause now. I think we've won there.
Crown the king.
Tim
Take the thorns
Harrison.
away.
Crown the king. Crown the king from the 16-year-old king. Stay here. Look at his little face. It's almost as if he understands.
Well, Mr. Vibrating Eye King, any early pronouncements?
I think I've had all current notions of beauty outlawed and have everyone remodel themselves in my satanic image.
He would like to have everyone remodelled in his satanic image.
The king has spoken. Give him a round of applause. But we have seen the Lord, Thomas. We've seen him. He lives.
You're having a laugh, ain't you?
No.
You are most definitely having a laugh.
No, I'm not.
Look, unless I see the nail marks in his hands and place my hands in the marks, I shall not believe.
People are starting to call you names. They're calling you Doubting Thomas.
I find that very hard to believe.
Why do you have a problem with this, Thomas? Why shouldn't Jesus rise again? He's the Son of God.
He is.
You see, I don't believe that he was. You know, I think he was a good man who lived in those times, who did good works, but over the years, things have got exaggerated.
But you were there. You saw the things he did. He turned water into wine.
Purple food dye hidden in the bottle up his sleeve. All right.
He raised Lazarus from the dead.
That's true.
There are several well-documented cases of people being declared dead by their doctor and waking up in the morgue.
All right. We all saw him walk on water.
Floats on his shoes.
No!
Or is it not possible we suffered a mass hallucination? It is a historical fact that in biblical times...
Now?
Look, yes. Unbeknownst to us, in the fields where we grow our wheat, it is also home to hallucinogenic fungi. So, is it not possible that we've eaten some of these mind-bending drugs, accidentally or intentionally?
Shut up!
Look, do you seriously think that it's a coincidence that most primitive religions, like ours, have grew up in regions where hallucinogenic plants are proliferated? Because I don't think so. And I'll tell you...
Peace be with you, Thomas.
Lord. Oh, Jesus.
Place your fingers here. Stop doubting and believe.
Yeah, well, it's a lookalike, isn't it? Yeah, it's a good one, but it's a lookalike nonetheless. Or a robot.
No! Doubting Thomas!
Or an alien clone. Personally, I think there's a good chance it could be an alien who's been sent from another galaxy, right, to accelerate our human evolution.
You know what I think, Stu? I think that comedy is the hardest job in the world.
Yeah, indeed. What could be harder than getting up at 5 in the afternoon every day, working for as much as 20 minutes a night and getting paralytically drunk before going back to bed again?
Exactly, it's impossible.
No, being a comedian is in fact the easiest job in the world, and today we're going to share with you the comedy trade secrets that most comedians guard with their lives.
We're like Penn and Teller on Truth Drugs.
Don't do that, I've said.
Lazy comedy slacks, lazy comedy slacks, tedious setups, predictable gags, lazy boring comedy slacks, lazy boring comedy slacks.
This week, 28 years old.
In the hands of the professional comedian, the dull phrase 28 years old can be transformed into laughter semtex.
That's right, look how I confound you all here. You know, I remember going to the shops with my mum and I really needed a wee, but there were no toilets nearby. So she took me to the gutter, pulled down my trousers, and I had to go in the drain with everyone watching. 28 years old I was.
Oh, brilliant, Stu. I assumed you were about 4 years old, but then later in the joke I learned you were 28 years old.
Yeah.
My expectations were confounded, and from thence the humour arose.
That's right, Rich. But once you understand the formula, it's oh so easy. Look at this picture here. My nephew did that. That's good, isn't it? Look at that. 28 years old he is.
I imagine he was about 4.
No, he's 28. You know, I remember my first cub meeting. None of the other kids would talk to me. They were bullying me, pushing me around, knuckling me on the head. 28 years old I was.
I thought you were about 4.
No, I was 28 and I was the Arcala.
No, I thought you were one of the cubs. That was a double surprise.
That's right, Rich, but beware. In the hands of an inexperienced comedian like Rich, the joke can fall flat on its stupid face.
You know, Stu, I remember it was the day of my 28th birthday. I'm
going to have to stop you there, Rich. You see, for the joke to work, the setup needs to give the impression that you're much younger than 28.
Oh.
Perhaps 4. So try again.
OK, I'll try again, Stu. All right, it's harder than it looks.
Yeah.
You know, Stu, I remember sitting in my pram.
Good.
My father was there changing my dirty nappy.
Yeah.
I'd soiled myself all over my fat little legs. He was looking down at my hairless acorn Winky. I'd not developed the ability to walk or speak, so I started suckling away on my mother's breast. 28 years old I was.
It's very sad. You had some kind of brain hemorrhage or mental breakdown.
No, it's a joke.
Well, I'm glad you think that mental illness is a fit subject for humour.
No, I was just doing the thing from before, you know. We were all just laughing about it just now.
You've embarrassed me. You've embarrassed the audience. You've embarrassed King Satan.
I haven't. Have
He
I?
has, hasn't he? He has, see? Most of all, Rich, you've embarrassed yourself, haven't you? Say sorry.
28 years
not
old.
that.
I'm saying I'm sorry, I think.
We'll forgive you, Rich, but we can never forget what you have done here today.
I didn't mean anything, but I was just trying to join in.
What can you say?
Oh, hello. You just caught me preparing a milkshake. Delicious. Don't worry about little Hammy. He likes being milked. If you look at his little face, it's almost as if he understands. Now, I know what you milk connoisseurs are thinking. Hamster milk, even all shaken up. That isn't a very interesting milk for Rich to be drinking. Well, don't worry. I won't let you down. This week, I'm tasting tapir milk. Now, call me old-fashioned, but I think the tapir provides the best milk of any of the odd-toed ungulates. It's certainly a must for people who like their milk on the hoof. But how to get the milk? After all, the tapir is not exactly the kind of animal you have running around the house. No, I keep mine in this under-sink cupboard. Well, it was a bit of a struggle, but I finally managed to get my lips on its furry teat and get a good couple of sucks before it trampled me. And the taste? Well, I don't know what my tapir's been eating, but that milk had a distinct taste of Brillo pads and Mr. Sheen. 3 out of 10. There'll always be milk.
Well, predictably, we had a lot of complaints last week, Rich, about your unnatural interest in animals from various animal lovers.
Stu, no one loves animals more than me.
Yeah,
no
that's
one.
kind of what they were complaining about, in a way.
It's all right, Stu. The animals like being with me. If you look at their little faces, it's almost as if they understand.
Yeah.
As long as the animal has given its consent...
Rich, how can you tell if an animal has given its consent?
Oh, you can tell.
No. How can
you can tell, my friend.
Rich, saying it in a Southern Baptist preacher accent doesn't make any...
You can tell.
How can you tell?
They make a certain sound, Stu.
What sound?
It's kind of, twit-twoo. Twit-twoo. Ooh.
So owls, mainly.
Mainly owls, Stu. Good thing about their owls, they're always up for it. They're always making that sound. The owl whores.
You are sick.
They love it, Stu. Makes their head spin 360 degrees.
Sick.
Stop looking at me.
Sick.
I'm
You're
not
sick.
prejudiced, Stu. I like all owls. I've got 99 problems and an owl ain't one, Stu. I love them all. Barn owls, northern spotted owls, snowy owls. Of course, they're all snowy owls by the time I finish. Maybe so, Stu, but anyway, now it's time to introduce our next guest, the Curious Orange.
The Curious Orange. The Curious Orange. The Curious Orange.
Hello, Mr. Rich. Hello, Mr. Stew. I'm Curious Orange.
Yes. And what are you curious about there this week?
I am very curious about this curious little conundrum.
Get on with it.
If it is right and just for sentient humans to feast on fruit, then is it not also right and just for a sentient fruit to feast on human flesh, like a weird citrus vampire?
What? You curious about that, are you, Soren Kierkegaard? Are you? Look, but don't you want to know about the wonky wheel on a shopping trolley, or why cats are different to dogs or something?
No, Mr. Stew.
Well, in answer to your question, right, to be honest, it's an ethical grey area opened up by the whole genetic engineering debate.
Oh, I see.
Is your curiosity satisfied, the Curious Orange?
Yes. Humans are merely screaming meat. Their only function is to feed me. To feed me. Flesh. Feed me human flesh. And one day you will all see my power.
Did you say something?
No.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Curious Orange!
I bit me, Steve.
Now, earlier this month, me and Rich,
He's going crazy, Steve.
we decided to spend all the money we've ever earned on improving famous films by making our own extra final scenes. And here's one we made earlier.
Trainspotting. Current plot. Having finally conquered a debilitating heroin addiction, Ewan McGregor strides off confidently towards a bright, conformist future.
I'm gonna change. I'm cleaning up. I'm moving on. Going straight and choosing life. I'm gonna be just like you. The job, the family, the big television, the washing machine, the car, compact disc, mental insurance, mortgage, starter home, leisure wear, luggage, three-piece suit, DIY, game shows, junk food, children, walks in the park, 9 to 5, good at golf, bathing the dog, choice of sweaters, family Christmas, index pension, tax exemption, clearing the gutters, getting by, looking ahead till the day you die.
Extra final scene.
All right, mate, do you want to buy some heroin?
Oh yeah, can't hurt, can it?
Cheers.
What's the matter with you?
I'm tired, Stu. Comedy's the hardest job
it
in the
isn't.
world.
Explain,
It's all right for you, Stu. You're whole.
Whole?
I've only got one lung.
One lung, Rich?
Yeah.
But how?
It was all a misunderstanding I had as a child, you know. I lost one of my teeth, put it out for the tooth fairy, got 5p, then I decided to try and increase the stakes.
But how did you remove one of your own lungs, Rich?
It wasn't easy, Stu. Worth it, though. 7 new pence I got.
7 You realise there isn't even a tooth fairy, so there's hardly likely to be a lung fairy,
I
is there?
know that now, Stu. I'm not stupid. It was just my mum and dad. But as soon as they found the lung under my pillow, they realised what had happened, you know, and they put 7p there.
Why?
So as not to spoil the magical illusion, Stu.
The magical illusion of a lung fairy.
That's right, Stu. Wish they hadn't, though.
Why?
Because 7p was a lot of money in the 70s, Stu. Do you remember the 70s, do you? So the next day I took out one of my kidneys, left that there, and blow me tight if the next day there wasn't 9p under my pillow.
Right, so your mum and dad had done the same thing again?
Yeah, because I thought it was the kidney fairy.
Well, it wasn't, though, was it?
No, you know, I remember the day I realised the kidney fairy didn't exist, Stu.
Yeah.
I was sitting there in my room playing with my train set and my little shorts. My dad came in, he said, hop up on my knee, son, got something to tell you. The kidney fairy doesn't exist. Neither does the lung fairy. What about the tooth fairy, Dad? I said. That must exist. But he sucked on his old briar pipe and shook his head. Nope. None of them fairies exist, son. It was just me and your mum all along, dressed up.
Dressed up?
In case I woke up.
Right.
Well, of course, I burst into tears. There and then I cried for days. My innocence was lost. 28 years old.
Don't do that, no! No, damn your eyes.
Yeah.
Don't applaud that.
I wish he'd told me earlier, though, Stu.
I wish he'd told you earlier.
I wish he'd told me earlier, because just that morning, I tried to find out if there was a testicle fairy.
When Sir Isaac Newton invented gravity, an apple fell on his wig-encrusted head, and he was happy. But if an apple fell on my head, I would be unhappy. And if something bigger than an apple fell on my head, say, an anvil or a Shetland pony, I might even be killed. Hi, I'm Greg Evigan, Jake Cardigan in William Shatner's Tech War. Come with me now and observe what can happen when things get knocked over, or spill, or fall out of cupboards. This week, Cherrie.
Well, Margaret had popped out to pick up her sprog and his old man's. And I was in on my own, having a few sherries, watching They Think It's All Over. David Gower. Anyway, I stood up to go for a wee, and I trod on one of the kids' ninja action men turtle things, you know. And Cherrie flies out my hand all over Margaret's sofa. Well, I had to clear that up in double quick time, otherwise, you know, he's straight to bed for me and no nookie. I was better than that. But, you know, Margaret still doesn't know to this day. I never told her. You know, I think it's best not to tell women everything. Apparently, they showed them some of the questions before the programme when They Think It's All Over. They were saying, you know, take some of the magic out of it for me.
Well, Carl Burnley's new girlfriend's slightly stained sofa bears a terrible mute witness to the obscene force of chaos so carelessly unleashed by Sir Isaac Newton. Gravity. And I hope the ancient scientist is pleased with the wretched monstrosity his knowledge and curiosity sired. From henceforth, there is always the terrible danger that things might get knocked over, spill, or fall out of cupboards. I'm Greg Evigan. Goodbye. I made this.
Now let's join in welcoming back a guest from last week. It's Nostradamus on his horse, David Collins. Here he comes, it's Nostradamus. Give him a round of applause. Hello there, Nostradamus.
Hello there.
David Collins is a bit flighty today.
Oh, he's very flighty.
OK, first let's look at your 3 predictions from last week. Remember, if you get 2 of these right, you will win this delightful garden barbecue.
Oh, brilliant. Can I have the fence and all?
No, you can't. No, sorry.
Oh.
Now, let's have a look at the board. If you come round, here's your mark.
Brilliant.
Now, let's have a look at the board. Now, last week, you predicted that an Irish band beginning with B would be in at number 1.
Number 1.
Are you nervous?
No, no.
OK. The news said... That's right, yes, it was Bewitched.
Well, that was obvious, right? Because Nostradamus... No. Because Nostradamus is covered, even if Boyzone get in. There's no way...
Don't be jealous of Nostradamus' powers, Stu. Come on, Nostradamus. Look at the back of the board. And you, David Collins, look back at the board. Prophecy number 2, just stand on your mark there.
Right.
You said a cartoon with someone on drugs.
National newspaper.
Flying above the ground.
Above the ground.
That's right, in a national newspaper. The news said... No, didn't happen. Unbelievably. So, we have to give you a Chinese burn there, Nostradamus.
Ah, no, it's smarting.
Well, that barbecue and fence set starting to look so far away now.
Still got one last shot at it, Stu. Come on, David Collins. Come on, don't get flighty now. Your final prediction. You said that the Lord of Terror would come from the skies before and after the earth would be thick with frogs. Well, if that one's up there, I'll give you the barbecue myself.
Brilliant.
And the news said... No, sorry.
No, I was talking in code.
What?
The Lord of Terror is the NATO military airstrike.
And what about the frogs? What is that?
French lorry drivers.
Not good enough for
No.
frogs.
I'm sorry, no, another Chinese...
Smash
No!
the barbecue!
The humanity!
Another Chinese burn and a kung fu chop for you there. Anyway, we've got 2 weeks till the next show. What are your predictions for the coming fortnight?
Well, prediction number 1. A female children's TV presenter will appear in a men's magazine in her bra and pants in an attempt to promote her career. Prediction number 2. York City will lose 3-1 to Chesterfield next Saturday.
No way.
Whoa there.
Whoa there.
And prediction number 3. The voice of the unusual bird will be heard in the pipe of the breathing floor, and men shall celebrate Thursday as their feast day.
And can you come back in 2 weeks to see if those come true?
Yes, I certainly can.
There's a barbecue up for you.
Oh, I can't wait.
You'll never get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nostradamus and his horse, David Collins.
Whoa!
There we go. Nostradamus there, the real character.
Oh, hello, me hearties. Welcome to Treasure Island. It's me, Histor, Sky TV's one-eyed magic flying racist crow. X marks the spot. Ow! What, you egg? Ow! Young fry of treachery! What are you doing, Pliny?
I'm throwing eggs at you, Histor. Ah, you said eggs marks the spot.
I said X, not eggs. And in what sense is throwing eggs at me got anything to do with marks the spot?
It just does. Anyway, what's the news, Histor?
Well, you may have seen on the grown-up news...
The grown-up news?
That William Hague...
Bill, like a bird's bill, egg, like an egg. I said egg.
...is a bit upset about the euro.
The urine, like a bird's urine. But what is the urine, Histor?
To find that out, we must fly back to 1945.
5, like 5 eggs.
Come with me now, Pliny. As the crow flies.
As the egg flies. Where are we now, Histor?
We are in Nazi Germany. This is Hitler's bunker.
Hitler, like Histor, who is a bird. And who is that man coming there, Histor?
Hello, Histor. It's me, Adolf Hitler.
Hitler has only got one.
What is your name, bird?
Don't tell him, Pliny.
Pliny. Yes, I do only have one. It all started when my father was telling me about the tooth fairy.
Hairy, like a hairy bird.
Anyway, I have been waging a war for the past 5 years, the sole aim of which is to establish a single European currency. I hate the English pound so much. I would give anything to see it eradicated.
Would you give your remaining...
Almost anything. But now I have lost the war, and there is no chance of that happening.
Hello there, Histor. It is me, Eva Braun, Hitler's girlfriend. I don't mind about you only having one. I like you for your personality.
What is it?
Look, I've given birth to your baby.
Oh, my son. I know, perhaps we can disguise him as an English soldier and then send him over to England. And then he can complete my mission to destroy the English pound.
And what will you call this child, Hitler?
Let me think. I will call him Tony Blair's. Tony Blair's Hitler.
So, you see, Tony Blair's is Hitler's offspring.
Earth, like the French for egg, wing like a bird's wing.
Whilst not advocating his
Advocate
murder...
wing like a bird's wing.
I don't think there's a court in the land who would convict anyone for ridding...
Red wing like a bird's wing.
...the world of the spawn of Hitler. Now, according to my map, This is just about where the X should be.
Look, Histor, where the X is on your map, it is some eggs. I was right. Eggs do mark the spot. And they're hatching like an egg hatches.
Oh no, those are dinosaur eggs!
Yeah, dinosaurs, the evolutionary ancestors of birds, like a bird.
Run for your lives! Goodbye, children!
Good egg.
Goodbye! Bagora! Oh, I love you, Andrea. Bagora, I love you too, Richard. I love you too. I love you, Andrea.
Rich, what's that? What's that
Nothing,
there?
nothing.
No, what is
Nothing.
it? What is it? What is
It's
that?
my core shrine, Stu.
Your core shrine?
My core shrine.
Oh, your shrine to the cause?
No, my core shrine. Call it by its name.
All right. Oh, yes, the cause. Their Celtoid fusion of Irish folk soft rock and trip-hop beats has certainly captured the hearts of the record-buying public.
That's what I like about them. And Andrea's bum.
Yeah, all right. What's this here, Rich?
It's glue, Stu.
Glue?
I make out of flour and water.
It's very salty.
You have to put salt in. It's a binding agent.
Well, you've crossed all the other ones out.
Of course I have. They're ugly, all the other cores. They mock
They seem
Andrea.
very attractive to
They
me.
aren't. They're all ugly. Especially the man core.
The man core?
Yes, the man core.
The man in the cause?
No, the man core. Call him by his name.
All right. Rich actually got into a bit of trouble about some letters he sent to Andrea Core, in which he answered her inquiry, "What can I do to make you love me?" in perhaps rather more detail than was necessary.
She asked. If she didn't want to know, she should have kept her Irish mouth shut.
Yeah, well, you didn't have to send her the collage, did you?
It's a good colour.
A man arrived at my door the other day and said, "Would you like to make a donation?" My poor fool, I said. I have already made a donation, my soul to Jesus. And then the fool did reply, "No, I was thinking more along the lines of some money or jumble. And thus does the fool prize jumble above my holy soul."
Well, that's pretty much the end of the show, my friends.
The BBC aren't putting the show on next week to make way for the Easter festivities.
Damn Judas for betraying our Lord.
So, we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. But in the meantime, if you want to be king of the show, contact us via our Planet Earth address, which is this.
Somewhere there, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't see it. I'm not magic. Or you can email us at toonranger@leeandherring.com.
Or you can visit Dungeon Master Rob Sedgebeer's website about the show via this link.
Apparently
here.
that's down at the moment. We'll be back tomorrow. What's that unearthly noise, Stu? What's going on? What?
Excuse me, Rich.
Stu! It's the testicle fairy. Look around his neck. It's him. I knew he was
Rich,
alive.
it's just your dad dressed up.
No, it isn't.
No, Rich, I heard you talking about me, and I realised I never paid you for what I took from you. So, here's a cheque for 15 new pence.
Oh, thank you, TF. That's great. I knew you were real. I knew it.
Of course, Rich. As long as you believe in me, I do exist. You wouldn't fancy giving me the other one? I can get you 20p at 19.99 prices.
I don't know.
Go on, it's not like you ever use it, is it? It's no
Well, I'll think about it.
Don't worry, kids. Fairies do exist, as you will see now in my fairy display.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Hooray, look, come on, Stu. Put on the fairy costume, Stu. Come on, you've got to look beautiful. Hold your thing. There we go. La la la, la 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 la. Why are you looking so embarrassed, Stu? It's good what we're doing.